He walked out a free man. Daniel Perry, a former Army sergeant, tasted freedom after a controversial pardon. Texas Governor Greg Abbott erased his conviction. A cloud of uncertainty hangs over this release. Perry's case, a tangled web of racial tension and legal battles, is far from settled. The pardon, a lightning rod for controversy, ignited a firestorm of reactions. Legal experts, activists, and citizens grappled with its implications. The case brought the simmering issues of race and justice to the forefront. Perry's journey from soldier to convicted felon, now pardoned, reveals a society wrestling with its demons. The summer of 2020. America burned. The death of George Floyd ignited a firestorm of protest. Cities across the nation became battlegrounds. Anger and frustration poured onto the streets. In Austin, the air crackled with tension. Protests erupted, demanding justice and change. It was in this cauldron of unrest that Daniel Perry encountered Garrett Foster. Foster, an Air Force veteran, was participating in a Black Lives Matter march. He was armed, as was his right under Texas law. What happened next is contested, shrouded in the fog of conflicting accounts. One thing is certain: Perry, working as an Uber driver that night, drove his car into the path of the protest. Shots rang out, and Foster lay dead. The courtroom became a battleground of narratives. Perry claimed self-defense, saying Foster raised his rifle, posing a threat. Prosecutors argued Perry instigated the confrontation, driving aggressively into the crowd. The jury sided with the prosecution, convicting Perry of murder. The verdict, a momentary victory for Foster's family and supporters, proved short-lived. Governor Abbott's intervention, fueled by a Board of Pardons recommendation, upended the legal process. Abbott, citing Perry's right to defend himself, granted the pardon. This act, bypassing the traditional judicial appeals process, ignited a firestorm of criticism. Many saw it as a blatant disregard for the legal system, a political maneuver favoring a white man who killed a black protester. Daniel Perry, an Army sergeant, served his country. He swore an oath to protect and defend. His military experience, the crucible of combat, shaped his worldview. The defense argued that Perry's training, his ingrained instincts, led him to perceive Foster's rifle as an immediate threat. They painted a picture of a soldier reacting to danger, his actions a consequence of his service. This narrative, while compelling to some, failed to resonate with the jury. The prosecution successfully argued that Perry's military background, while relevant, did not excuse his actions. They presented evidence of Perry's history, including social media posts, that suggested a predisposition towards violence and racial animosity. The jury ultimately rejected the soldier's burden defense, finding Perry guilty of murder. The case of Daniel Perry is a Rorschach test for America. It reflects the deep divisions that plague the nation. On one side, supporters of Perry see a man defending himself against a perceived threat. They view the pardon as a justified correction, a necessary intervention against a flawed verdict. They believe Perry, a soldier who served his country, deserves compassion and understanding. On the other side, critics of the pardon see a miscarriage of justice. They believe the pardon undermines the rule of law, sending a dangerous message that power and privilege can trump accountability. They see Perry's actions as a reflection of a society where white men can use deadly force against black people with impunity. The case, they argue, exposes the deep-seated racial bias that permeates the justice system. The pardon of Daniel Perry leaves more questions than answers. It raises fundamental questions about the nature of justice, the role of race in the legal system, and the limits of executive power. The case serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of progress, the enduring legacy of racial injustice in America. It is a story that demands reflection, a call to confront the demons that haunt the nation's soul. This case, a microcosm of a nation grappling with its past and present, is far from closed. The legal battles may continue, the appeals process grinding forward, but the wounds run deeper than legal arguments. The pardon has reopened old wounds, exposing the raw nerves of a society struggling to reconcile its ideals with its reality. It is a story that will continue to resonate, a reminder of the unfinished work of justice in America.